we've had a great period of time, but I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done. I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass. Todd Blanche, who's been with me so long, and he's one of the best lawyers you'll ever find. Here we are with the President of the United States, so it didn't work out too well for them, but
Donald Trump's aggressive power grab is here. It is unfolding right now. And if you live in Washington, D.C. like I do, you see it happening every single day. It is frightening. It is unlawful. But more than anything, it is simply embarrassing. It is disappointing how Donald Trump is using misleading crime numbers and fear tactics to send his forces against calm protesters, people doing their duty for no reason other than to set the pattern that he can declare martial control and start targeting cities whenever he chooses. But that doesn't prevent it from just looking embarrassing, which is exactly how Donald Trump appeared today when he addressed police officers in D.C. And I shouldn't even say he addressed them. He struggled to address them as they went silent, while Donald faltered. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into the moment of total silence, listening to Donald Trump's fumbling, not even a smile from the officers, I want to begin with how Trump started speaking about restaurants.
Actually, but we've had a great period of time, but I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C., from people that haven't gone to a restaurant literally in 4 years. And they said, you know, what you've done it's unprecedented, because what they said, it was just unsafe. We couldn't do it. We'd go out and you'd see the stories, you'd read the stories, you'd see all of the things that are happening. And they said, we couldn't stand it, sir. And now I take my wife and my kids to dinner. One of them said he's gone out 4 nights in a row, and he hadn't gone out for 4 years. So it's a great tribute to you. And when I look at you people, I understand why, because there's no games, right? We're not playing games. We're going to make it safe.
I first need to start by highlighting the very obvious fact that this is false. Donald Trump is misleading. He claims that restaurants have reopened this week. Like somehow, after 2 days, people were able to bring together a staff and get things going, and the kitchen working, and set up all they require. Like it just does not make any sense. But in truth, restaurant visits, of course, are not even rising. They're not even leveling out. They are down 40% because people are afraid of going outside, since Donald Trump's forces may stop you, pull you aside, detain you. And it's even more than that. There are fake ICE agents present who, much like the real ICE agents, or much like the real Trump loyalists, won't identify themselves. And so, more than anything, people are simply worried about being detained by someone who doesn't work for Donald Trump. That is the alarming environment that he has created. But it's all fine for Donald Trump because he's focused on the grass. Yes, just take a listen.
And they're all coming in, and people are now coming in. They're making reservations to come in, and they want to be in Washington, D.C. One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like the Augusta. It'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. You know, like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. You know, we have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago. So we're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So
anyone who wants to claim this is about safety, listen to Donald Trump speak about his actions in D.C. He doesn't focus on safety. Sure, he rambles on and shares strange stories of events that aren't real as he stirs fear. But what he's most centered on is like the decorating that has defined this Trump term. He's focused on his plane. He's focused on portraits. He wants to rename bodies of water. He wants to put flashy, heavy gold in the Oval Office and redo the grass so it looks like Augusta National. Like, what is he even saying? He doesn't know. He's confused. And you can see it in this odd personal rant that he goes on while everyone just remains completely silent. And then after that, we'll check out a clip of him simply struggling to speak, thinking,
Todd Blanche, who's been with me so long, and he's one of the best lawyers you'll ever find. And we're having a lot of victories. I had a victory today. You know, they stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory, you know. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we all have our limits, but this was a terrible thing that done. It was a witch hunt, and I've had more witch hunts than any human being, I think, in history. And here we are with the President of the United States, so it didn't work out too well for them, but maybe now it's turned a little bit. These are very dishonest people. We have to fight. We have to win, because we have to win. And you people are winners, and I just think it's such an honor to be with you. And we're going to make Washington, D.C. great again. We're making our country great again. The country is very close to being great. When they say it's the hottest country in the world, they mean it. And this Capitol is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's all because of you. So I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor.
Thank God this was not another Fort Bragg moment of like Donald Trump trying to get members of the United States military at Fort Bragg to cheer him on, criticizing Governor Nuomi. But good thing that we didn't see like a bunch of claps and cheers. They all just were like, you could see people looking around like, why is he talking about a lawsuit right now? Isn't this supposed to be about reducing crime, which it is not? It's about Donald Trump's own issues, but everyone's just confused because why wouldn't they be? A rambling, unclear, mentally declining, aging man is fading right before their very eyes. And it's not only on the topics around D.C. or his own small personal politics. It's what Donald Trump was saying about energy right here. Back into the grid.
Back into the grid. So all of these big factories that are being built are building their own electric plants fired by oil and gas. They're not fired by wind, by the way, because wind doesn't work, but we won't say that. It destroys everything. It looks terrible. It's a very expensive form of energy. And we're not doing wind. We're going back to fossil fuel. I hope not too many of you people are going to be upset, but we have to go back to what works. We can't be foolish.
They're powered not by wind, but by oil. He doesn't know. For the man who spent so much time speaking about the liquid gold, and I dislike those windmills. They will cause harm to birds. It's like you would think he might have some idea of how energy works and that he's made it, 10-15% more costly. It's odd the things that Donald Trump discusses the most, he understands the least about. Tariffs is a clear example. When he's speaking about something, it's simply because he likes how the word sounds and feels in his mouth. Like that's really it. And we don't like the sound of those words, of course. And if you want your stomach to turn, just listen to how Donald Trump spoke here talking about Kristi Noem.
And where's my Kristi? You dear. Thank you very much. She's been incredible. And she can ride a horse like nobody. She gets on those horses. She rips those horses around. But I want to thank you very much. And Steve Miller, so.
Yeah, considering Trump earlier this month said Carolyn Levitt has the smile, and now he's talking about my Kristi riding horses. Yeah, that's a little just unsettling. I feel like that's awkward. I feel bad for the people there that they had to hear that. He was talking about Pam Bondi in pretty odd ways as well. I can't put you guys through that. It's too uncomfortable to listen to. He clearly has something wrong with him. I heard that. And to me, and I know we've been discussing a lot about Trump's health, it literally sounded like he was like on his last legs. He was like, my Kristi, she's been so great, and we're going to miss those horses, aren't we? It's like that is kind of how he speaks now. That's kind of like what underlies all of his statements is like this yearning and this longing, but like this sense that things are nearing an end. Like he is very clearly in decline, but I think he is actually starting to realize, or maybe not, because he's just such a narcissist and thinks he can talk on about anything, which, he tried. He tried right here.
We give them the right to build electric plants. They become almost like a public utility because we have old grids. We have a lot of stuff that's old. We wouldn't be able to compete with China AI. And now we're totally leading the AI race and the artificial intelligence. It's a big deal. And it's the hottest thing there is for probably in 35, 40 years. It's a lot of people don't know what it is. Just trust me, it's very hot. It's big. But they need massive amounts of electricity. They need more electricity than we have right now in the whole country servicing everything. In other words, we have to at least double it up to be competitive and to be leading.
You just don't find people who can speak so foolishly about so many topics. It's remarkable the range of topics that Trump can sound completely clueless on. It's broad. It's almost remarkable. It's almost a skill, but it's not. It's a rambling older man who, again, is just losing his clarity. There's really no other way to describe it. And it's just sad for Donald Trump to have his little cabinet there, standing behind him as he delivers his staged, tough guy press conference. That's what this is about. They know Trump looks weak, and they know when Congress is back in session. And it's Epstein Files time. He's going to appear even weaker, avoiding that challenge. And so they're just like trying to hold him up, and they can't because actual challengers are holding him accountable, like Gavin Newsom, who was speaking about his debate with friend of the show, David Pakman, right here.
And so I'm curious to hear from you. I mean, would your preference be that we do away with all of this stuff, but that's simply not where we find ourselves?
Yeah, not only is it a preference, it's in the legislation. It's actually going to be on the ballot. We're going to affirm California's support for national independent redistricting. That is going to be on the ballot. That is what the legislature is currently voting on and will be on the November 4th ballot in California. So we absolutely agree with that framework. But it's to your point, this notion of unilaterally disarming, holding a candlelight vigil, talking about the way the world should be. If you're going up against an opponent that is not playing by the rules, that's cheating, it's malpractice not to do something about that. It's dangerous, as in this case, because you're quite literally putting the rule of law and you're substituting the rule of Don. You're quite literally eliminating a co-equal branch of government because this rigging is not going to be limited to Texas. They'll continue to roll up other states. And at least we're asserting ourselves, not just with moral authority, not just talking about the way the world should be, but with formal authority, the size of 21 state populations combined, California, and so we can actually punch back. We can neutralize what Texas appears to be doing as we speak, likely to be advanced this evening and tomorrow, and we can do so in a very democratic way, a very different way than Greg Abbott and Donald Trump are doing it.
I said this on Twitter today. A lot of people have been discussing Gavin Newsom. My view was, he's not just a fighter, he's a closer. Like that's what we need as Democrats. A fighter is someone who will here's my press conference, and I'm going to be emphatic, but actual progress. Gavin Newsom's getting things done. J.B. Pritzker, Kathy Hochul, Wes Moore, we're waiting on you. All right? As it stands now with the gerrymander that's happened in Texas, that's going to happen in Ohio, in Indiana, in Florida. Democrats are set up to lose 8 seats right now. 8. So I'd like to see a little stepping up. Gavin Newsom did his part. Please do yours. We're going to be talking about that on the show every single day. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stayed until the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you.